We've also worked the sugar beet harvest in Michigan. That was a fun experience.
Hey guys, I'm Alora.
And I'm Dustin.
And we're Likely Lost. And in today's video, we're going to tell you how we haven't paid rent for over a year.
But before we do that, we need you to take a second to like and subscribe to the video. Get in the comments, do some interacting. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If you're not subscribed, it'd really get us a long way. We're really close, like way closer than we thought we'd ever be.
And thank you to everybody that watches our videos.
There's two main things we do to not have to pay rent. The first thing we're going to talk about are seasonal jobs that provide housing.
So there's all different kinds of seasonal jobs and places where you can find these seasonal jobs that provide housing. One place you can find it is Coolworks. It's the most popular place to find these kinds of jobs. We have been going to Montana the last 2 summers to work for Pursuit in Glacier National Park, and both times it was completely free. They're not always free. Sometimes it's like $100 a month or something that they take out of your check, but we have found jobs that are free. So Pursuit in Glacier National Park is one of them. And since we have an RV, we didn't have to be in like any kind of communal living as far as like dorm style with roommates, which is a plus for us. We have our own space and we can bring our pet and everything.
We've also worked the sugar beet harvest in Michigan. That was a fun experience. They offered a place to stay. Wasn't the best, but that's just kind of what you get into when you start working seasonal jobs. They offered us a place to stay in a fairground rather than a true campground, which wasn't awful. They offered other people that didn't have RVs motel rooms, which is another really cool way to get around paying rent or to not pay rent.
So both of those places were completely free, but not all of them are like that. There's a few that might be like $100 a month or something like that, but we've been pretty lucky finding the places that have been free.
So if you're an adaptable person and you're okay with the temporary time slots being different places, you get to go to some of the most beautiful places around the country. Work for companies that either give you like free or cheap rent. Another plus, if you are a social person, you get roommates most of the time, and if not, you have a new group of people that you can make friends with, and you're spending 3 to 6 months with them. You're probably going to have a great time if you're social. It's kind of a double-edged sword though, right?
Yeah, probably. But that's what's good about like the 3 to 6 months is like if you don't like your roommates or your housing, it's gonna be over soon. It's all temporary. So that is, I think, another pro to doing this kind of work and living situation. And also you get to visit some really beautiful places. If you're interested in learning more about seasonal work or like what the employee housing situation is gonna be, we have an interview with Dustin's coworker Bria. I'll put up here. We have another interview that's going to be coming out, and I'll also put them both down in the description as well. So definitely check out our videos, and of course subscribe because we'll probably do more interviews in the future. So the second way that we are able to not pay rent is by utilizing our public lands and like free campsites out here.
Yeah, so it takes a certain kind of person to be a little bit more self-reliant, self-sufficient, to make it out in the public lands, but that's what we're doing right now. It's saving us a lot of money. We're really enjoying it. One of the perks we talked about is like you have your own little section. You can get away from people if you really spend the time to find the right spot. We have the perfect spot right now.
Dispersed camping out in the desert, out in BLM land. It's probably our favorite way to live.
Oh, it's great. We're going, well, I can't tell you how long because there are some restrictions on it. And we're not broke them yet, but you can only stay in a camping spot, I believe, for 14 days before you have to move.
Generally. I mean, do your own research for each place, but usually the BLM lands out here, it's 14 days, and then you have to move to another spot.
We really love our spot right now, but we've not gone over 14 days. That's important tonight. But it is a really beautiful spot. You have your own space. You do see other people around you, and sometimes there's a crazy person flying up the road. But other than that, if you're wanting to save money, there's not much of a better way to do it. You know?
Also, national forests, that's all free public land for camping. And there's tons of apps you can use. Campendium, Dirt, and you can go on there and search for these free campsites that you can live in. And as long as you're willing to move around, you could live out here for free forever, really.
So a lot of these places we're talking about, they're definitely public lands. So you want to respect them. I think one of our biggest challenges living out here is making sure that we definitely do it. We get rid of our trash, but you have to find places to do that. You know, some of the people out here aren't doing the best job at it, and we don't want to add to the problem, you know? So if you're going to live this lifestyle, live it responsibly and clean up after yourself. Don't leave trash out here. The other big con to doing this is probably jobs. This is our first experience trying to find a job like out here, and it's not proven too difficult, but it is definitely intimidating.
We're sort of like far away from the city, not too far, but it's kind of a long drive into like civilization. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're planning on living out in public lands and then commuting to work.
I think this soaks into like van life and car living, and all the same rules apply. Just keep it clean, move like you're supposed to, and I think it's a good way to go if you want to not pay rent. Like, I don't think there's a better way. You're out here in a beautiful area, usually not too far from hiking. That's what we like to do. It's definitely worth it to give it a shot.
So if you're willing to be like self-reliant, like Dustin said, live off-grid, be kind of in the middle of nowhere, this is definitely for you.
So those are the two things that we've done. Hopefully some of that's helpful to you.
If you know any other ways you can get out of paying rent, leave it down in the comments below. We'd love to learn more because we don't like paying rent.
Nobody likes rent.
And yeah, if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because we are going to do a video soon about how to live off-grid, just like tips and tricks to living off-grid. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and hit the bell notification. Yeah.
Peace.